All right, good morning, friends. This is our relationships in tables review. Remember that as we're going through that, relationship means a connection. So we're looking for what the connections are in the tables. So let's get started with the first one. Number 2 says, Mr. Griffin begins a new exercise program at the gym. He plans to increase the number of push-ups he does each day. To determine the number of push-ups, Mr. Griffin doubles the number of days and then adds 1. He made this table to track his progress. On what day will Mr. Griffin complete 21 push-ups? So first, I'm looking for what the question is wanting me to know. Remember, I'm only choosing the important parts. So on what day will Mr. Griffin complete 21 push-ups? I'm looking for that because my table is labeled by day and push-ups, okay? So I'm looking for the day of 21 push-ups. Okay, my data is already in the table, so I don't need to rewrite all of this. What I need to be looking for is the connection. But the great part about this particular question is they've already mentioned it to us in the actual story. They say that to determine, which we know means to decide, the number of push-ups, he doubles the days and then adds 1. That tells me right there that this is a two-step problem, okay? So to double something, I know that that means to add it again to itself, which is repeated addition. So when I think repeated addition, I need to be thinking times 2, and then when I add 1, that's plus 1, okay? So my days times 2 plus 1. Now over here, I'm going to start looking at my plan. I already know the push-ups. My day times 2 plus 1 is going to tell me how many push-ups. But I want to find the opposite way because I need to find out the day, not the push-up. So I have to do the opposite thing to find the opposite answer. Remember, just like we've talked about with our fact families. So instead of me giving 1 more, I'm actually going to take 1 away. And then instead of multiplying by 2, I'm going to divide by 2. Okay? I already know because 21 is an odd number. I look in that ones place and I see that I can't share 1 with 2 people. I'm going to subtract the 1 first, which gets me 20. And then I'm going to divide that into 2 groups, which I know that I can put 10 in each group, so I've been practicing my facts. So that means that my answer for days is 10. Now, if you look, these other answer choices are pretty close, so it's important that we get the equal groups part right. Okay, so I have my answer, and then when I check, I go back there and I say, okay, did I find my days for 21 push-ups? Was I looking for push-ups? Well, I know this will tell me push-ups. Since I already know this piece, I have to go the opposite direction, which causes my number to decrease. Again, that means I'm subtracting or dividing. And since this one is a two-step problem, right here, I have to do both, okay? Let's go ahead and look at the next one. Miss Yim makes candles. She packs the candles in boxes of 8. Which table shows how many candles Miss Yim can pack in 3, 6, and 9 boxes? Sorry about that. So we know that there's boxes of 8, and I'm looking for a table that shows candles in 3, 6, and 9 boxes. The other pieces are not important information, okay? I also notice that none of it says about, which means, again, I'm looking for approximate. So my question is table that shows candles in 3, 6, and 9 boxes. Okay, so first I'm going to check and make sure that the boxes piece right here for all my tables shows 3, 6, and 9. So I look, yes, yes, and yes. Okay, I know that the candles come in boxes of 8. It would be terrible if I went to Walmart and I bought some candles and they were not the right amount. If they were 2 in one box and 16 in another, that'd be a bummer. So because I'm looking for 3 boxes first, That, my friends, is repeated addition, which we know is multiplication. If I have 8 plus 8, that's 16. Plus 8 more, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So my first number for the 3 box should be 3 and 24, because that's how many candles were in 3 boxes. So this one right away, I see that's not 3 and 24. It's out. This one's also not 3 and 24. It's out. This one shows me 3 and 24, so it's okay so far. And this one shows me 3 and 24, so it's also okay. Now remember on this next one, because my rule here, I can see that my rule is 8 many, many times. It's times 8. I see the next number here that I'm looking at is 6. We know from our rhyme that we practice that when 6 and 8 went on a date, they came back and they were 48. So I have to check and make sure that both these have 6 and 48. We're good here. We're good here. Very important, where they're going to try and trick us is always the last column. Typically, it's the last column, I'll say, actually. Because then they're saying, well, okay, maybe the friends can get these first two, but I bet they skipped that last one. Okay, but we're hard workers, so we're going to do the last one. Next, I'm going to do, because I'm looking for boxes of 9, I'm going to do 9 times 8. Again, practicing your facts is where this comes in handy, because we know that 9 times 8 is 72. That makes D the correct answer. Again, if I had not checked this last column here, I could have got the answer wrong if I had picked it. So always be sure that you go back and choose your answer that shows your work, that matches everything that you did here. That's a mistake I've seen several times where all the work is correct and then we picked a random answer. Always go back and double check, okay? Let's go on to the next one. Miss Cox sews stuffed bears. She buys buttons to decorate the bears. The table shows the number of buttons needed for different numbers of bears. Which of the following statements is not true about the information in the table? So, question right off the bat. I'm looking for what's not true, okay? Not, very important. Not true, okay? So I should probably go ahead and start reading through the statements to see what is true. Because the data is already written in the table, we don't need to rewrite that. That's a waste of our time, okay? I need to start looking at my plan, and my plan in this one is to eliminate wrong answer choices. Okay, so there are 7 buttons on each bear. If I take a look at this, if I have 4 bears and 28 buttons, I see my number is increasing. So my options are either add or multiply. I'm going this direction. Remember that if I go the opposite direction, I do the opposite sign. So right now, I'm going to count by 4s. If I hold up 7 fingers when I count by 4s, then this statement is true. It is not my answer. Okay? 4, 8, 12, and 16, 20, 24, 28. Stop. So 4 times 7 is 28. That's true. I can't use that answer choice. Now it says the number of buttons divided by 7 equals the number of bears. If I went this way and 4 times 7 got me this, then if I go the opposite direction, this way, I do the opposite sign. So it would be buttons divided by 7 is going to tell me how many bears. So that's true. That's where I have to be remembering my fact families and really switching things around there. You guys have gotten really good at that, but we need to keep that in mind. Okay, the number of buttons times 7 equals the number of bears. We already found that that was true. The number of bears. Oh, wait a second. Aha, they tricked me. The number of buttons right here times 7 tells me bears. Well, if I did 28 times 7, that's way bigger than 4. Oh, they got me really good. Gotta read carefully, friends. Okay, so the number of bears, which is 4 times 7, gets me the buttons. We saw that was true. Again, friends, even teachers, when we read some of these sometimes, if I go too quickly, I'll miss the answer. That's why I've got to go back and double check. Let's go on to the next one because we're running short on time. It says, for every 6 quarters Sloan receives in her allowance, she places 2 quarters in her piggy bank as shown in the table. If Sloan receives 30 quarters, how many will she place in her piggy bank? My question is, I want to know if she has 30 quarters, just going to put 30Q, how many go in the piggy bank? Okay, my data's in the table again, so now I'm really just looking to see what's that relationship. They said for every 6 she puts 2 in a piggy bank, but to me that gets kind of complicated. I'd rather just go ahead and look and see how can I get from 6 to 2. Because my number's decreasing, I'm either subtracting or dividing. If I take 4 away from 6, I know that that's 2. But if I take 4 away from 12, I know that that's not 4. So I'm not going to use subtraction as my plan. I'm going to try out the division. 6 split into 2 groups is going to give me 3. So that means that, remember, if I don't know the answer, I can flip it around to find the fact family. So that means 6 divided by 3 equals 2. So that would be my rule because 2 was actually my quotient. I know that 12 divided by 3 equals 4. 18 divided by 3 equals 6. So if I do 30 and I divide it into 3 groups, I already know there's 3 tens. 1 10, 2, 3. So my answer there is there will be, let's see, she puts 2 in the piggy bank? Yeah, 10. Again, friends, that's why, because of that last question, I've got to slow down and be sure that I'm choosing the correct answer. So these would be the ones that she doesn't put in the piggy bank, but we know that this one right here tells me how many she did put in the piggy bank, okay? So we're going to go on to the next question just because I'm low on time here. Mi Cocina Mexican restaurant packages pralines in bags of 5. Automatically, you know me, guys, I'm a visual person. So I know the pralines, there's a package of them, and there's 5. They sell each bag for $9. I'm going to put that it equals $9 there. That helps me just keep track of things as I go. The table shows the prices for different numbers of bags of pralines. So which pairs of numbers completes the table? Again, I'm looking at the pairs right there. My question is, I want the missing number. My data's in the table. Now I'm looking at my plan, which is deciding what is happening here. Because my bags are increasing to get to my price, I know that the 5 is no longer relevant for what I need, okay? Because there's no 5 here. It's just saying that's how many are in the bag, okay? So if I have 3, how can I get to 27? That's a pretty big jump, so I'm going to try multiplying first. 3 times something equals 27. Remember, again, with our fact families, we can flip that around. 27 divided by 3 equals something. I'm going to go ahead and try out my 9 to see if it's true, because it's another number they've given me in the problem. I know that 9 times 3 is 27, so then my rule is actually going to be times 9, because that was the missing thing that I did not know. So if I have 9 times 9, I know my facts. I know that's 81. If I have 12 times 9, that's something I might have to work out a little bit. So I'm going to set it up standard algorithm, multiply, start in the ones. 9 times 2 is 18. Regroup, and then I multiply by my tens. 9 times 1 plus 1 is 10. So my two numbers are 81 and 108. That's 84, so that doesn't work. That's 81 and 116. That doesn't work. That's 72. That doesn't match. So G is my correct answer. Again, this is where we go back and we check everything, make sure that I found the question, my plan is solid, I've tested it out, and I'm good to go. If you want to leave any comments on here, I can try to get to them this weekend. Can't make any promises, but I will certainly try. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video and that it's helpful, and I look forward to you guys rocking out the test next week. Thanks.